Hey there, fellow travelers, Mark here with Wolters World, and today we're on the Greek island of Crete for the don'ts of visiting Greece. Because there's some fun don'ts and some serious don'ts we actually do have when you do come to Greece. It is a cool country, well worth visiting, good prices, tons of good food, super nice people, but we want to get into those don'ts because those are things you're gonna do, like hit the beach and stuff like that. But let's get to the don'ts right away, okay? Now, my first don't for you when I come here is don't show your palm. Look, if you're a tourist, you don't know anything about this, but in Greek, showing the palm is kind of like showing the middle finger. And if you want to like a double middle finger, don't do that when you're here, okay? Just wave nicely, things like that. If they know you're a tourist, it's not going to be a problem, but just know this, showing the palm of the hand, is kind of like the way to say screw off, okay? Now you notice I'm really going fast here at the beginning. What I needed to realize, I gotta siga, slowly, slowly. And our second don't for you for here in Greece is don't get in a hurry. Greek time is Greek time, okay? Just know if they say 5 minutes, it might be 15 minutes. I know we were going to someone's house and we said, oh, we'll be there in an hour. It's like, oh no, in an hour, our food will be ready by then. We got there in an hour. The food actually wasn't ready for another 2 hours after that because they were thinking, oh, you were talking Greek time. So that is one of the things you should know is things are a bit slower when you are here. When you order the bill at a restaurant, just know that it's probably going to come with some raki and a little snack, a little treat at the end, and your bill won't come when you ask for the bill. It comes after that. So just remember, siga, slowly, slowly, just relax. Don't get in a hurry here, okay? But I will say, for the buses and the trains and the flights and stuff like that, you do need to be on time for those though, okay? But other things, Greek time, just don't get in a hurry, okay? Now my next don't for you is don't be afraid to try to say a few Greek words. Now the letters you might not be able to get unless you've had trigonometry in the last few years, so it might be tough to like read the words when you're here, but do know a few, like efkaristo is thank you, parakalo is you're welcome, or please, things like that. Because what happens is the Greeks, they're super hospitable, okay? And when you actually speak a little Greek or try to show that humility that you're trying to speak Greek, it really opens them up. And don't be surprised if you make some Greek friends and you might end up at their house later because the hospitality here is great. So don't be afraid to try that efkaristo, parakalo, kind of things like that. It will make your life a little bit easier when you're here. Also, one thing I noticed, if you do that and you don't be a jerk tourist, what kind of goes along with that, you might get free stuff when you are here, or they might knock down the price on something here or there, give you a free treat. Those kind of things really happen when you do come here. So don't be afraid to practice your Greek and don't be a jerk tourist because there are some benefits to that. Now, if you are lucky enough to get invited to a Greek house, there are some don'ts for that as well. One, don't forget to bring a gift. Maybe wine or flowers or candies or something, but do bring a gift, so don't forget that. Because we're at some friend's house now, it's just been crazy with that. Another don't is if you do get invited to somebody's house, don't eat for like 10 hours beforehand, because Greek hospitality means I must feed you until you explode, and then I'll feed you some more until you explode a second time, in case you have 4 stomachs. I mean, seriously, you will eat a lot when you are here. And the thing is, I guess I would say to go along with that at restaurants, don't feel like you have to order a meal for every person in your family, because here they serve food more family style, so it's got big portions. So maybe you get 3 dishes to split between 4 people. So don't feel like you have to order everything because you're going to get big portions here. Now, when you are eating with your Greek friends, you're probably going to be drinking some wine when you are here. And you notice they have all these little glasses. That's okay because it's so hot here, things heat up really quickly, so you drink things in small glasses. But the thing is, if you're drinking wine, a don't for wine in Greece is you don't pour wine on wine, okay? So you want to finish your wine, aspropato, and then pour more wine in after that instead of pouring it in that way. It's just one of those little things. Not everybody does that, but is one of the things you want to do. Another don't we have for you has to deal with driving. Don't try to keep up with the Greeks. Look, Greeks drive pretty fast and pretty loose, and you'll see people using the shoulder to drive on, and a 2-lane road is actually a 4-lane road. These things happen when you are here. And if you get worried by that, don't feel like you have to act just like them. Be cautious when you drive, move over when people are passing and things like that, just to make it safer for you. Now, another thing with those cars, when you do come here and you're going to rent a car, if you're an American tourist, I'm not sure how it works for other places, but I know for US tourists, you have to have an international driver's license to rent a car here. Sometimes you might get lucky and there's a place that might rent it to you, but in general, they do not rent cars to foreigners that do not have international driver's license. If you're from Europe and you have your European driver's license, you're okay. But if you're from the US, you need to go to your AAA and go get yourself a international driver's license, which is basically a translation of your driver's license, and have that with you. They're only valid for 1 year, so get it right before you come so you have it. But you do need that, otherwise they will say no. We've had that problem before, so we had to negotiate around it. This time we're here, we all have our international driver's license, so there's no problems. But don't forget to get that one before you come here, otherwise you will be on public transportation. And that kind of leads into another don't, is some people get freaked out. They say, oh, there's all those strikes and protests in Greece, and will my buses and my trains, everything get canceled? Look, don't freak out about the strikes or protests in Athens. Look, yeah, strikes do happen just like anywhere in the world. And the thing is, when it does happen, it might be the metro line or the train line coming in from the airport, or a bus or a taxi thing. There'll be other alternatives for you to go there. I remember we were here, last time we were here in Greece, I mean, it's been a few years, there was all this news coverage about these protests in Athens on the main square in front of the, where the guards are changing and stuff like that, Republic Square, and people are, getting all mad and cheering. We were on the other side of that square, seeing them. And the news cameras were like right in there, so it looked like there were tons of people. There were some people, but it wasn't that bad. We were getting coffees on the other side of the square. So, you don't need to worry so much about it. It can affect you, but it's not going to be a big deal. Just so you know that. So I know some people really freak out about that with Greek. It's going to get strike, or now everything's going to get ruined. Strikes can happen, but there's always going to be ways around it, so don't worry about that. Remember, siga, slowly, things will happen. Don't worry, it'll all work out. That's what's great about Greece. And that's why I say is don't skip out on visiting Greece, because there's so many great things to see here, from going to the Acropolis and going up and see the Parthenon on top, or you're going to see here on Crete and go to Knossos or Thessaloniki, or going to see the Peloponnese and Nafplio. There's so many cool towns and cities to visit that you can have a really great time. And the thing is, going off of that, I will say is don't expect to get to a lot of these places off season. If I'm talking about places like Santorini, Crete, really big summer holiday destination places, in the off season, they really close down. I mean, we were in Santorini in February. Man, it was my mom and I, my dad, and a donkey walking around. There was just nobody there, which was cool because we got to see everything without the tourists, but a lot of the restaurants were closed, the clubs were closed. There's a lot fewer flights. A lot of those EasyJets and Ryanairs, they're only seasonal flights, so they might not go all year round, and that can sometimes make it more expensive to visit Greece off season. In the summer, it's cheap to get here. If you fly to mainland Europe, stay somewhere like Paris for a few days, and then grab an EasyJet or a Ryanair or Olympic or whatever to fly here, it's okay. But off season, don't expect everything to be open and running. It's cool because you get to see the people and meet the people, but it can be a bit more complicated when you do come. Now, if you are going to be coming here in peak season, you're going to want to be getting around, going to the islands and stuff like that. My next don't for you is don't cheap out on the ferries. Look, the ferries from Crete to Athens, it's an overnight ferry, okay? If you're gonna do that, you can get a cabin and have a nice place to sleep, or you can try to hold your stuff and be in like the restaurant part and just try to keep your eyes on your stuff all the time because you want to save a few bucks. Or what you can do is you can actually buy a ticket and fly from Crete to the mainland or Santorini to the mainland. Yes, it costs more than the ferry, but it's a 35-50 minute flight versus 7 hours in a boat, okay? So that's one of the things I always tell people is like, look, don't cheap out when you're looking at this. Get the flights. It just makes your life so much easier. Now, my next don't for you is when you do come here, don't forget the sunblock. Look, the sun is super strong here. We've seen a number of purple tourists here because they got so burned from their first days here. So make sure you do bring sunblock. They do have it here. It is really good. Make sure you apply multiple times, but they have good sunblock here, but it is pricey. So just so you know that. So just a heads up on that one. Another thing, look, this is important. Don't call it a gyro, a gyro, a hero, a zero. Look, it's a gyro, gyro, okay? The sandwich you see with the meat, and you're eating that, and it's got the meat. Look, it's a gyro, a gyro, a gyro, gyro. It's the G makes a Y sound. The Y makes an E sound. The R is kind of like a rolling R. Gyro, okay? Gyro. I don't say it perfectly either, but that's how you say it. It's not a gyro, okay? A gyro is a little thing that spins. A gyro is the thing you eat, okay? Just so you know that one. Another thing I guess I should say is you need to make sure you remember, don't forget it's left kick, right kick, step behind, step. Left kick, right kick, step behind, left kick, right kick, step behind, over and left kick, right kick. What am I talking about? Look, it's the Greek dance. Look, if you're a tourist, you're gonna be here at some restaurant that's gonna start playing that song. Da 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 da, and then you're like, oh, I gotta do the dance, and you get in the line and go around. The simple one, it's left kick, right kick, left foot steps behind, right foot comes over to the other side, and then you left kick again, right kick, and do that, okay? So don't forget that one. And my last don't for you is, when you come to Greece, don't just eat Greek food. What I mean by that is, don't just eat the Greek food you've heard about. Moussaka, souvlaki, all those kind of things. They are fantastic here. But what I recommend is if you're going to go to different regions, you're here in Crete, eat Cretan food. If you're going to be by Nafplio, get their specialties there. Yes, you can have the typical Greek specialties. They are fantastic. You will be fine. But one of the things I've really loved is trying out the local specialties in all the different parts of Greece we've been going to. And that's what really helps you enjoy even more Greek food than just the traditional ones you're used to seeing at your restaurants back home. So do experiment. So what I recommend you do, ask your waiter, hey, waiter, what's the local specialty? What should I have here in Nafplio? What should I have here in Thessaloniki? What should I have here in Hania? And they'll help you out. Anyway, so those are some of my don'ts for visiting Greece. I apologize for the wind. It's been nice since yesterday. It was 104 degrees here. Today it's only like 90, but with the breeze, so I'm feeling much better. Anyway, if you enjoy travel videos like this, maybe 10 things that shock you about Greece, 5 things you love and hate about Greece, other things like that, please do subscribe. We put out a new travel video every Wednesday and Saturday. And if you want to talk to us or follow us on social media, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all those things. And it's all under Wolters World to make it easier for you. So I hope that helps you. Don't worry, you're going to enjoy Greece. It's a great place. And I'll say bye from the beautiful island of Crete.